So this morning we have completed the empowerment of Milarepa. It's the empowerment of the Guru Sadhana, and now we will be talking about the songs of realization of Judge Milarepa, which is called the 8 ornaments of profound meaning, and we will go through it. As we talked about the motivation this morning, so wherever you are, or whatever you are doing, or whatever you're engaging in Dharma, the most important is to correct your intention, to have pure intention and motivation to listen to the teachings. And in the garland of precious garland by Nagarjuna Gopalodrup, in his text he said that if you do whatever you're doing, if you're doing actions, if you're engaging in the actions without attachment, without hatred, and without ignorance or delusion, then whatever you are doing, your bodily actions, or whether it's a mental action or it's a verbal action, it will give you the result of happiness. That's because of your doing the virtuous actions, and the result will be happiness. And then you will attain, or you will reborn in the higher realms. In this life, you will have happy life, and in the next life you will be born in higher realms, like God's realms and demigods realms and so forth.
세달라야 되는 이문도 또 그냥 세달라야 동마다 까만 먹고 싶대. 제가 스마라야 내려가 소가 되는지 제가 저리 이제 그거 딱 맞게 봐. 지용은 딱 제가 네 동마비죠. 그놈 명목에 끊는 상용 바 임바이나 이렇게 내 맞게 봐. 차 맞게 봐. 딱 동마비죠. 딱 재밌어요.
And as well as if you engage in the activities or actions with attachment, hatred, and delusion or defilements, then the result would be suffering. So not only in this lifetime you will have unhappy and worry and suffering in this world, but also in the future life you will be born in the lower realms, like realms in the hell realms and so forth.
나 보다 떨어지고 삼미지가 많았던 발에 삼성지가 또 좀 바뀌었어. 어떻게 되네. 그러게 돈을 준비해 차.
So there's a song in Tibet. It is the lyrics of the song. Lyrics of the song is something like, if you have a pure heart, a good heart, then even if you sing a song, that would be great. Because even you have an evil mind or negative thoughts, and even if you're reciting a mantra or reciting a mani, then that would be not good. So when we do or when we practice, it's of course it's important to do many times. We have to understand how many times do you practice, and also how long did you practice. That's also important. But the more important is the way in which you practice, the way, the motivation, the pure motivation, and in order to become the Dharma perfect, pure Dharma. So the way in which you practice with the pure motivation is better than how much times or how long you have been practicing. This is because if you take a lot of time to do practice, or you are doing for many times or again and again, then if the result would be not a good one, then that's a little bit of wasting your time. So if you are doing a little bit, you're taking a little bit of time, and then you're doing it pure, perfect, in a perfect way, within a short time you will gain big results. And that means transformation of your mind. For example, if you are transforming your mind, you can do a little bit, and then you can transform your positive, negative mind into positive. You can do it in a short time. But if you're taking too long, you have been practicing, but you are not practicing according to not practicing skillfully, then the development of improvement of the transformation of the mind will not occur or rise. And the great yogi Milarepa, Jisun Milarepa, was advent in Tibet in the 11th century. and he was a great meditation master, and Mahasiddha, what we call, because he's exemplary for all of us as a practitioner. We can follow his footsteps, we can follow his teachings and his practices, because he is the exemplary for all of us, and he is the pure and perfect Dharma practitioner who have attained enlightenment in one lifetime. In Milarepa's biography, there was a story that one of his disciples, his name is Milarepa2023, and he asked this to the Lord, the Jesu Milarepa, asking about by seeing his miraculous powers, the realizations of flying in the sky and leaping and traversing in the rocky mountains and so forth. So by seeing this, he asked this question to Milarepa about what was in your previous life. Were you a Buddha or a Bodhisattva, or what is your emanation? What were you in the previous life? And then Milarepa replied to Milarepa2023. He said that this is your distorted view of thinking, or the view that is kind of wrong view of thinking about I'm a reincarnation of some Buddhas or Bodhisattvas, or I'm manifestation of something. So that's totally your wrong way of thinking, because I'm not like that. I'm not such a person like that. I am one who has committed so many negative and unwholesome deeds during the period of my tender age and young age, and then after that, according to his mother's recommendation, his mother's guidance, he went to learn sorceries, right? Black magic type of sorceries, and he also spelled, and he killed around 35 horses and people. And because he was afraid of his ripening fruition of the karma that he has committed evil deeds, therefore he regretted it, and then he regretted it, and then he relied on great masters like Milarepa2023, and then through his exertion, through his perseverance, he received all the instructions and practices, and therefore he attained, or he achieved all this result of having good qualities, result of attaining miraculous powers, special realizations. All these are because of the power of the Dharma, not because of the power of someone else, that I'm the reincarnation or manifestation of someone else in my past life. It's not like that, but it's because of the power of the Dharma. So what Milarepa's reply was totally true, because Buddha himself said that when you do practice, it's irrespective of caste and creed, irrespective of dharma, or irrespective of gender. You can, if you have that kind of interest, enthusiasm, if you have exertion to practice dharma, then you can do it. And it's not because you're from some good lineage or family, or it's nothing like that, because the most important thing is to not the caste and creed, but it's the practice itself, the training itself is the most important. In order to practice, if you practice it properly and correctly, then you will have the results. You will achieve the liberation of moksha, or you will achieve the enlightenment, the Buddhahood. And as we talk about Milarepa's life story, as he was an evil person, actually. He, because he committed evil deeds like killing around 35 horses and people, right? So nowadays, even if you kill one person, you are the criminal. So that was not easy for him, but still, he, regretted. With regret, and he also relied on Lama's masters, and then his austerity, his exertion, because of that his exertion, he attained enlightenment within this life, in one body and one life. That's what we call. And then he is recognized as the great yogi of Tibet, irrespective of all schools of Tibetan Buddhism. He's well known without having any disputes. He is the great yogi, the exemplary for all of us. So therefore, that's because of the power of Dharma, and that's because of the inspiration or the blessing of Dharma. And it doesn't matter whether you are young or old. It doesn't matter whether you are rich or poor. You can taste the taste of Dharma and experience the taste of Dharma every day in your life. And that is the power of the Dharma. Just like when you taste brown sugar, and then everyone can taste brown sugar and it's sweet. Everyone can feel the sweetness, right? If you can taste the sweetness. It's same as the Dharma is something that everyone can taste it and everyone can experience it. The equalness of all of the sentient beings are same in terms of practice and Dharma. There is a reason, not only just we are talking, but there is a reason behind it. Because in Buddhist tradition, we believe in the Buddha nature, the Buddha essence, the Tathagata Garbha. So all of us, within us, we have that Tathagata Garbha or Sugata Garbha, the Buddha nature. All of us are same and equal, and we all have that kind of innate, goodness. The innate or basic goodness within us. So in terms of the Tathagata Garbha or the Buddha nature, it's all sentient beings have the Tathagata Garbha. Even if the Buddha himself, the mind stream, the mental continuum of the Buddha and the mental continuum of sentient beings are the same in terms of its essence, in terms of its nature of the mind. All same and equal in terms of Tathagata Garbha or the Buddha nature, that we all sentient beings have that. That is the cause, what we call gu, as the cause to achieve enlightenment, which is the Tathagata Garbha or the Buddha nature. And when we talk about the Buddha nature, the Tathagata Garbha, Buddha nature means the mind, the very ordinary mind that we have right now. The mind that we all have, which is in nature, innately, nakedly, it is pure, which is what we call the Dharmata, which means the expanse of Dharma, which means the pure, the very essence, the pure nature of our mind, intrinsic nature of our mind. This is called the Dharmata, which is the reality. And then that we all have. So that mind is being freed from all these impurities, all these stains, and all these defilements. So therefore, it is spontaneously present. So therefore, it is free from all affective emotions and thoughts, and free from all obscurations. Therefore, this is naturally, innately, is luminosity, clear. So therefore, this is what we call the Tathagata Garb, or the essence of the Buddha, or the Buddha nature. So it's very important to know that the very essence nature of our mind is same as what we have and what Buddha have, or what Buddha have, not something that Buddha have achieved newly, but is there from beginner's time. So, for example, it's said in the Tantra text, or Tantra treatise called Two Segments. It is said that all sentient beings are Buddha, actually. The only thing is that we cannot recognize the true nature of our mind. And it has been covered or obscured by adventitious sins, adventitious defilements. If you remove that adventitious defilement or contaminations or stains, then it's luminosity, it's pure, like the Buddha. So that's the only difference. Other than that, all are equal in terms of having the Tathagata Garba or Buddha nature. Because of that defilements that is covered our mind, nature mind, because of we all have this kind of self-grasping, self-fixation, and we have all kind of self-centeredness, self-cherishing, and because of our illusions, we have confusions. Those are the defilements. If you remove all of these that has been covered by these defilements, then the true nature will appear. So that is the Tathagata Garba. For example, to give an example about seed that we plant. For example, it's the seed of rice. Or any kind of flower, the seed, if you plant that seed, then you will need to protect that seed in order to have the perfect, proper conditions. For example, you need sunlight, you need water, you have to water it in order to get the fruition, right? So you need all these causes and conditions in order to get the fruition or to get the fruit or the crops, for example. And similarly, we all have that Buddha nature. So it is not manifested. So we have to, in order to actualize, in order to manifest that Buddha nature within us, we need all these causes and conditions. The first thing, for example, the conditions of meeting with the perfect teacher or guru in order to introduce the Buddha nature and give you instructions and teachings and so forth. So through that we can travel on the path to enlightenment by the 10 bhumis, 10 levels, and the 5 paths through which we can attain the enlightenment. Therefore, all sentient beings can attain enlightenment, because one of the big reasons, the main reason, is that we all have that Buddha nature within us. And another example would be Garchen Rinpoche, who was in Arizona when he traveled to England, and he met a small girl, and he discussed with that girl. A young girl, actually. It's not a child or something like that, but it's a young age girl. And she was talking about all these great Mahamudra teachings and great perfection teachings and so forth, that she has been reading many books and meditating as well. And then she was not a Buddhist, like a formal Buddhist. You enter into the Buddhist tradition to take refuge and so forth, not like that. But she likes to read. She likes to read and understand. She likes the experience and realization of what those great Dzogchen and Chakchen masters have experienced. She was too much into it, like to read more and more. And then after that, she also had some kind of realization, understanding the real nature of the mind is something like that. She understood that, even though she's not a Buddhist. And that's what Garchen Rinpoche told me, that maybe she realized that the true nature of the mind. So even if you read these great masters' teachings and texts, then you can, through skillful means and methods, we all have that kind of Buddha nature within us. The only thing is that we have to eliminate the defilement, and through a correct method and through correct meditation, and so that through that way, this is something that I think it's possible too for all of us. It's possible because what we have, the main cause of the enlightenment is within us. It's not something that we can make it right now, or we can find it from external world. We cannot. It's within us. So that's something that I think is possible too.
Zimbabwe, and it's in the some of them and it's a CG about Denimaniba. That's some Jimmy Dow, Toba Yuki, then Zonde, then Okami and the Sierra Kamanaba. Chido Kalinga, Cherry by Yinpi, Sen Shawaka, Ma Tendo and all. What up did you Chaldos Constitution? Then to compete that said the Melotosha. That thing better cut. Jimson Caress and the Tennessee using that. Around simply the Jada. Sentinel that in the year is that Sentin and Sundays a tongue. The name that tomato. Motto on the problem door. Then trouble that in the Denver Zay and the Dennis. Okay. It's Channel Mosongi. The Nitty gave us up. The name of your Gita, Sendele and Nora Mombocha, and it gave us some other name on the kid, but they need the Mombo so early. Sentinel, also my Bayana, then Namdo, that's it, then the Chobakari, Chanako, and you could talk about. But that indeed, Jimsi Yumian, okay, or Senti Tamji, Sentinel, the Indian of the but that you need for now to do it.
So that young girl, she has been meditating, and she has been meditating over again and again, continuously, without any interruption. And finally, one day she she realized that there was something that cannot be explained. What she experienced was something very spontaneous, effortless. And then at that time, what we call usually is inexpressible, in beyond our words and so forth. So something like that experience that she had, and this was what we usually call is tokmul. When you have some kind of this experience, realization, then you can, go to see your guru, to meet your guru and ask or tell what you have experienced. That's called Dongbul. So at that time, she explained all this to Garchen Rinpoche, and Garchen Rinpoche thinks she might have realized the true nature of mind. And so why I'm giving this example, because we all have that, it's possible for all of us, right? So that's why I'm giving this example. It's only that whether you recognize it or not, whether you know or identify, or whether you realize it or not. So that's the only thing, because we usually, we are under the power or influence of confusion, right? Illusions in this world. And then we have all this thinking of something that truly exists, and thinking that something, you're fixating on a particular external things and so forth because of the confusions. So, but it's only that whether you recognize it or not. So therefore this is a little bit of introduction before we begin the teaching.
The new model, printer time for the need on a balance and for sitting this one. Send the nail of the Mato by Invayana, and I feel a cap of candidate in a printer time out in Vayanaya. Oh, and it true days. That send the nail of Tony Toy. Send the nail of the top by Invayana. And a task of young I am about the balance and out in my send the name of the top of and it already somewhat. What a thing is. Echo, another day, about the going to pass it along the phone. You send the nail of the send it on the harmonic or moving nail of that in the top by the tip of model channel. And it for say at the middle.
It is said that even if a great master like Panditas, right, great learned masters, if he or she doesn't recognize this very true nature of our mind, and he is confused, and even if ignorant people, or for example a shepherd or maybe a herdman, who doesn't know nothing about all these great words or these realizations, but even if this shepherd or herdman can be liberated, if you understand, if you recognize this very true nature of mind. So that's the difference, because difference between confusion or delusion and liberation. If you do not recognize, then you are in a confusion. If you recognize it, once you recognize it, then you will be liberated.
Chitan Jitan Milarepa work good months in work Ramon Mamuchi Yobagi. And then Gon Mamuchi, and Power and Kando Banamchi, and then Kaku, the Shankanto so the Yagi in Tansamade. Tata Mira, good months in a Tinisuma Yobeta, the town bombed out in the Mamuchi Yoyo Mai. Eta, Adayanti in the Malakan Bonbons and Nata and Chitan, Gon Mambo Yobagi. That Queen and also Marchia Day.
So today's session, the afternoon session, the teachings on the 8 ornaments is one of the songs of realizations from the 100,000 songs of Milarepa. So there are so many, numerous songs of Milarepa, but it is said that many of those songs have been carried or have been brought to the pure field in the heaven by those Dakinis and so forth. But we see 100,000 songs, but not exactly 100,000 numbers, but there are many songs that we can read. And today's topic is on the 8 ornaments of the profound meaning.
Last chores in a last chores in the Yuzumala of the Dunne, so the Tadana Jomogama, the Tanisa, the Rachikanjara, the
So the place where he sang this song of realization was in Nachi. It's a great meditation cave where Milarepa spent many times. So it's just near to the Mount Kailash, where he sang this song of realization. And there are many fortresses or caves of Milarepa. So one of the caves is called Ramding Sky Cave. So at that fortress or cave, he sang this song. And the time or the day it's in the 11th century. So among his many disciples in this song, when Jejunara was with along with the Rinpoche and one of his main disciple, and also Chugomripa is another disciple. At that time, Rinpoche and a few other disciples, they were staying at that Ramdin cave, and Rinpoche and Chugomripa had much discussion about the view of meditation of Naropa and Maitripa at that time. And then the Jetungaripa then sang this song, and then he said, listen to this song and then continue your discussion. You can have the two sheets one. It starts with what delight being free of conventional terms is so joyful. The kind Lord Guru sits at my crown. Realization inseparable from his continually dawns in my mind. So the first line, as you can see, what delight, what happiness, what joy, that means he already realized the true nature of mind. So therefore, true nature of the mind here means having realized the state of Mahamudra. So therefore, he is always joyful, always delighted, always delight. So because it's free of conventional terms. So conventional terms here means in the conventional level, we all are being influenced, empowered by confusions, discursive thoughts, and clinging or grasping on truly existent things and so forth. All these are what is here the tanye, which means conventional terms. So free from conventional terms, that's why it's so joyful. It's very happy. What a delight. That's how he expressed his experience and realization. So the self-grasping and all the afflictive emotions and thoughts, those are what we call the bondage, the binds that binds us. So we have to release that binding or bondage. In order to release that bondage, we have to understand the nature of mind, and that's why how we pacify, how we liberate from this world. And through that way, once you understand, once you eliminate this self-grasping and the duality, dual appearances, then you will gain boundless and inconceivable qualities and benefits. So even if we don't have that kind of realization like just in Milarepa, but still we can practice. We can put effort in practice. Still we can also build or develop faith in the Dharma and practice it, and meditate in your daily life. Then through the practice of your meditation and through the practice of your through the development of faith in the Dharma, that can kind of that can be remedy, or that can be antidote to lessen, to decrease the level of grasping on self, fixating on self, or self-grasping, and that can also remedy the discursive thoughts. That discursive thoughts can be decreased through a practice of the Dharma. And once the discursive thoughts, the dual appearances and the self-graspings will gradually decrease, then there will be a state of mind which is calm and peace in your mind. So that kind of calm and peaceful mind can be developed through decreasing the self-grasping and all the confusions and illusions. So this is something actual reality that we all can see. So therefore, when you decrease the level of the self-grasping or self-centeredness, then all the other afflictive emotions, kleshas, and sufferings will be decreased. If you have a lot of self-grasping, self-centeredness, then the afflictive emotions and thoughts and sufferings will be great. And then if you have a medium or middling level of the self-grasping, then your afflictive emotions and sufferings will be in medium or middling. And if you have a very less small, minor self-grasping, then your afflictive emotions and suffering will be very less. So, in order to abandon, in order to eliminate the self-grasping, to remove or eliminate self-grasping, we cannot do it at the hospital to do surgery or something like that. To apply medications, we cannot do that. The only thing that we can apply is the meditation. The only thing that we can apply is to practice and transform your mind, to meditate. So for that, we can achieve what we call the wisdom of selflessness. So through the wisdom of selflessness, we can understand we can eliminate the self-grasping attitude. And then the next line is the kind Guru, Lord Guru sits at my crown. So this means in order to understand, in order to understand or attain that kind of that level of realization, then we need to rely on a guru. So therefore here it says the kind Lord Guru, and we have to make supplications to our teacher, Guru, and we have to cultivate devotion to our Guru. And then we also make supplications to receive the blessings of all the lineage masters. And then after that, the realization inseparable from his continually dawns in my mind, which means that you're inseparable from the realization of the true nature of mind. And that will occur, or that will appear in your mind stream. So therefore here it says that will occur at the same time. All the realizations and good qualities of the Guru also will attain, or you will have, or you will receive all these qualities and realizations, just like your Guru. And the next one is, you two teacher meditators who engage in analysis, if your words don't come from your inner understanding, you're just making noise and inflating your pride.
냐니 마제 주유의 마제나 주마모 지시에 발림발림이야. 다가 저거죠. 다 근데 지금 아저씨 좀 봐도 봐기 근데 유의도 저렇다고 말이지. 유의도 저야다. 뇽문 봐 화야다. 근데 지금 나제가 렌레에서 막 하는 거는 뒤님고 취대 근데 소소가 유의도 잔는 양식이 거기. 취당 생리에서 언제하고 그래
And in this verse, it's talking about you have to intermingle or mix your mind and the Dharma that you are practicing inseparably. So, because he's talking to his disciples, you have to receive, you have to listen to the teachings, but at the same time, it's not only listening, but you have to take that teachings within you. You have to apply that into practice. So that is how you intermingle the Dharma and the mind together. And then once your Dharma is practiced and trained your mind, and then you will have the true realization or the recognition of the true nature of mind. But if you don't have that, then it's just making noise, or it's just to increase the level of pride.
마다바 고마로 지는다. 그래서 남바 때 그냥 공사 기치지 마다바래. 산지기네. 다 지탐제 끝나는 롱부지의 지대 치슈리 있다. 돈도 치슈. 다 뉴시 탐제 끝나는 초대 제가 마다바 고마리 손은 마다바 때 고마리 태용심 손이요. 다 얘는 마다바 시카케시 시바장가 마다바 때 인사리 상에 고요를 되게 샤워장 나라서 유일 팀도 없어서 근데 지금 마다바라고 되는 유일 제도 보는 거 마다바도 유일 제도 봐 있나 근데 마다바도 그냥 다 뒤에 뒤에서 올라타고 있어요 근데 주도 유일 제도 봐
So therefore the Dharma, to practice Dharma is only to habituate, to familiarize with the Dharma and to try to put it into practice, practice. And it is said that we usually talk about impermanence, and impermanence is very important in Buddhist tradition. And then you talk about impermanence, but it is said that the biggest footprint of animal is the elephant's footprint, and then the biggest and greatest benefit of thinking about something is the impermanence. To think about the impermanence is the biggest benefit for us. So, but if you think about it, if you listen to the teachings about impermanence, it's not enough, because it has to be practiced. It has to be applied in our day-to-day life. You have to take it into practicality. So that's more important.
근데 당고 한 주제 단계마다 와서 근데 사계 단계 동하고 추 단계 동제다 말고 영이는 데가 쉬어고 세나 하다 오가다 사진 시에서 요리는 당고마다 와서
Therefore, at the very first of the four seals of Buddha's Dharma, four seals of view, or you can see four aphorisms. The very first one is the impermanence, because it said all the compounded phenomena are impermanence. And the second one is all the contaminated things are suffering. And all the phenomenal existence are empty and selflessness. And final one is the nirvana, is the true peace.
In the sun, talk about the civil so then I think also Chu Shibatam, Chu Yobatam, and also think who young has got. Caribous can shoot the Namsan, Julie Jar, Latin over days. So can you song about?
The Milarepa also said that if there is a hungry person, then it's not only okay that he has food to eat, right? If he's hungry, so you have to eat it first in order to, in order to solve the problem. So just similarly, you can listen or receive many teachings, but the important thing is to apply that, to practice which is more important. And there are innumerable types and categorizations of the teachings taught by the Buddha, so we cannot practice all of those teachings, but we can do as much as we can. And through applying your mindfulness and introspections, mental alertness, as well as through careful and heedfulness, you can apply all these teachings, however, on whatever level you are, as much as you can. So the 8 ornaments, from 8 ornaments, the first one is, it says, cutting imputations or interpolations from within. Is that not called view free of extremes? Using scripture and reasoning is a great ornament to that. This one is the first ornament on view. All the practices of Dharma or Buddhist tradition or Buddhist teachings can be subsumed into these view, meditation and conduct. The first one is the view. It's more like a philosophical view. It's a philosophical view in terms of, we talk about the view, we have to think about the philosophical view. So philosophical view, so view in terms of, in this context, you can understand in terms of view, tawa, which means the perfect view of the world is the one. The other one is the view of Mahamudra, for example, which is the about the meditation, the view of meditation. The perfect view of the world is such as, for example, that we all have this confidence in the causality, the cause and effect, and we all have faith in the 3 jewels, and we also all believe in the rebirth, or the rebirth in the next life. But in this context right now, we are talking about the view in terms of the second one, which is meditation, is on the practice of meditation, how to apply the teachings into meditation. So this is the philosophical view, for example, like the view of the middle way school, view of the mind-only school, Chittamatra, Madhyamika, and also view of the Mahamudra, and view of the great perfection. So all these types of view, what we're talking about right now, is the view that we are talking in terms of the meditation, the view of meditation. So here you can think like the object of meditation. When you do meditation, there is an object of meditation. So the object of meditation, which is the ultimate nature, which is the view of the ultimate nature, and ascertaining the ultimate nature of the view, if you have that kind of mental or mindset, so that is called the view in terms of meditation. So there are many assertions and explanations in terms of they're talking about all this ultimate nature of the view according to different schools. But in order to make it a little bit of simpler, we can think about the object of meditation or object of practice is called the view in this context. And for example, if we give example of the middle way school, Madhyamika. So Madhyamika, or the middle way, is defined as free from all extremes. For example, the 4 types of experience. Free from all the birth and cessation, and free from all the 4 extremes, which is free from all the fabrications or mental constructs. That is called the middle way school. So you are not falling into the eternalism, and you're also not falling into the nihilism. So in between, the central, the middle, which is called the middle way, free from all this birth, cessation, and so forth, and free from all the 4 extremes and all the mental fabrications. And in the perfection of wisdom, all the views are delineated, is established in terms of in terms of the object itself. When we look at the object, for example, objects here means the aggregates, like the 5 aggregates, the 18 constituents and elements, and we have the 12 source perceptions. All those are free from truly existent, which means emptiness. So this is how they explain the way in which how the objects, the external objects are exist.
근데 다 kurban to bari wai yorba ni ba ko kurban da tendu ki yomi ta tendu ki ani drondo de so ani tango o mala so ba ka ni yorga ten drondo de junya teni ne lo kumani tin na pa tin ne lo kumani ti tonde ne gon nyamso lingo yori sin ta jeon ten so ma yori.
So in the middle way school, the practice is mainly focused on emptiness, right? Emptiness here means the middle way. And here it's talking about the existence and non-existence. What something that exists or not, is something does not exist. So for example, if you talk about the existence of something, then if you say it exists something, that would become kind of interpolation, that would become imputations. And if you see there's something that doesn't exist, then that means there's nothing. So nothing means you are just disparaging the Dharma. So between these two, you have to cut these interpolations and disparage exaggerations. And that is what we call the middle way, which is the mainly practice of emptiness. So this, yes, in this context, so from the middle way school, he didn't talk about only you have to cut the imputations from outside, external things, right? But here, Milarepa is talking about cutting imputations from within, not from outside. So therefore it says cutting imputations or interpolations from within. So you have to cut the imputations and then you have to establish the true nature of mind. So right now in our mind there are many thoughts. Those thoughts are called the dualistic thoughts. And we have many, we have also this kind of self-grasping and grasping at the true existence of things. All this we all have in our minds. Those are not the reality, the true nature of our mind. Those are the interpolations or the imputations that needs to be cut. So here Milarepa is saying that you cannot cut the imputations from outside, but first you have to establish, identify or understand the mind, and then you can cut through all the interpolations from within. So that is one of the main teachings or instructions of Mahamudra, that if you understand or if you realize the true nature of the mind, then you can understand all phenomena. So here, this is the view that talking about you have to cut these imputations from within, And because once you cut the imputations from within in your mind, then you can cut through all other imputations and interpolations of all phenomena, and then through that way you can eliminate the root of all the self-graspings and innumerable discursive thoughts that we have. We always have innumerable discursive thoughts. And one thing can be the antidote to eliminate all these negativities, all these afflictions, which is to cut these imputations from within. So, in terms of the afflictive emotions and thoughts that we have, it's innumerable, it's countless. We cannot, eliminate all of them at once, because Buddha has taught 84,000 afflictive emotion thoughts. Each of them have their own remedies and antidotes. So, what we need to do is we need to think about where these afflictive emotions and thoughts are coming from, and we need to cut that root. Just like, for example, in the Mahamudra, Ganges of Mahamudra, it is said that a tree spreads its branches and leaves. So if it's just useless if you cut each of the leaves and the branches, right? So, but what we need to do is to cut the root, and all other thousands of branches maybe will wither. So likewise, cut the root of our mind, and the leaves of samsara wither. So that's what is taught in the Ganges of Mahamudra. So we can apply that teachings in order to eliminate all the afflictive emotions and thoughts. For example, if we want to cut or we want to eliminate the attachment, so if we find this object of attachment outside, then it's innumerable. You cannot find all the objects of attachment. We have so many objects of attachment and desire, right? So we cannot eliminate that. But what we need to do is we have to think within. We have to think our mind, and we have to train it. We have to control our mind. So if we're training and controlling our mind, we can eliminate and decrease the attachment gradually. This is the same as true. Also, you can apply this to other afflictive emotions such as anger as well.
사된 데다 고요 전 되니 고에 가려고 람탁 산지 고에 된 사된 데가 요단 송 다나 슬로건 로가 때 강화의 그 사단 도다 되니까 야소 무용과 나바조 무용과 조군도 된도 난 조사가 사자 상마다 빈땡도 신데 땡토요 땡토마 자 얘는 함이야 고게 공샤바이 마이나 서로 가와를 손해야지 깜깜마다 천만 소양하고 도단 되니까 되니까 봐도 좀 일이 있다. 공부해요. 소소 그 공부된 정도가 임바이나 사실 공부 지역에 열때 매가 좋다고 말하다. 싸워는 매가 좋다고. 공부 세한테 맞지사 밀제가 뭐도 아마도 제 보고를 제 자산을 제 도보를 제 하게 다 사다도 배모들도见到 공부 지역에 열 매가 좋다고. 이거 알겠습니다. 선대 공부도 많이 좀 줘봐 이마이나. 그네 저봐. 다 이제 이제 그네 저봐 지역 공부 지역 그네 저부터 매봐 줘고 뭐 전조는 제 손으로 오늘 내가지. 다다냐 근데 마음속에 출발 삼아 매봐 줘. 아니 근데 남도 삼아 매봐 줘. 유몽 삼아 매봐 줘. 그것도 좋고요. 그다 얘는 이제 생각을 좀 얻지. then send never company the thought by then sama ane chichi kundur send the song here send never chipo kisoma then chu tamti the thought about the song in the
and then another example from the guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life, Bodhicharya Avatar. Shantideva set a very good example of how to eliminate afflictive emotions and thoughts in a skillful way. He said that if you want to protect your feet from piercing the thorn, if there's a thorn in everywhere, if you put the leather everywhere, then you can't do that. Wherever you go, you have to put that leather in order to protect your feet. But the best thing is that you can have a very good shoes, right? Or maybe in the example itself, it says you can just cover your sole of the shoes by this leather. So that's the very simple and skillful way of how to tackle with the thorn, right? But if you put the leather everywhere, then it's endless. Wherever you go, you have to put all the leather, right? So that's another example, example for eliminating or dispelling the afflictive emotions and thoughts. For example, anger. For example, we all have anger, so nobody can escape anger. So object of anger, if you find object of anger, then it's innumerable, it's limitless. You cannot, control all of them. Even if you sometimes you get angry. To the object of anger would be a stone, would be earth or soil, some non-living things. You also get angry, right? So it's difficult, it's impossible to eliminate all the objects of anger. But what you can do is you can control your anger from within. Just like here, it cut the implications from within. That's what Milarepa is teaching here.
Yeah, ne look. Then a drondo, young tabaji, chupu, Rondo choosing ne sorte, Nubunelo, Kali, Yimayina, tell a drondo and conduct Mazeba, ne drondo, the conduct of her pin a partner, then send the net, who shoot and move never, send the never, Kang Yimate, thought about it and drondo choose in the door, then the jet, send the nelo to the drondo choose of a tower. Then to the song, then with that, send the narrow the carry, you might be. And they don't know you think the pet of a and the tower. But then, harder the tower was around in the top, send the narrow there, you meet to a get a tower. Harder the tower was around.
So in the Mahamudra of Ganges of Mahamudra, it is said that once you understand or once you cut the implications or interpolations of the base. So base or ground here means the very nature of our mind. So if you understand or realize that base or basic nature or the true nature of our mind, that is the confidence of realization of the view. So that is something we need to understand in order to understand the reality, true nature of our mind. So that is what we are talking about, the cutting through the interpolations and exaggerations and so forth. So here, Milarepa is saying that is that not called the view free of extremes, free from all the extremes? So in the Shurabling Institute in India, Shurabling Institute, monastic institute, where there is a dog. And that dog was very wondrous, very wondrous and amazing, you know. The dog is some kind of wondrous in a sense that the dog is something unique, but the dog has no honor. It's just a stray dog who always, you know, stays or sits around the gate of the monastery. So that dog was always there at the monastery, and the dog was there when you know, in the monastery we have that kind of learning system. We have the teachings, everyday class. So everyday class from class grade 1 to grade 6, every year the dog would be there outside of the class listening to the teachings, starting from first grade up until 6th. So the dog, for example, he sometimes maybe he gets hungry, right? So he has to go up on the hill or maybe somewhere far from the class, and in order to get some food. But when the bell rings for the class, he just rushed back and to sit there. Really? Yeah, he was really on time, very punctual. And I just jokingly used to say my students, sometimes the dog is better than you all the time, because they always have some excuses of, you know, not bunking the class and not coming to class on time because of sickness and so forth. So also did that dog also receive all the 5 great treasuries, empowerment given by Dai Sutta Rinpoche, just like us. When the one was finished, he just goes away, and in the morning when one starts, he comes. This is not just made up a story or something like that, it's real. But I told this story because in order to wake you up. And then the last line is about using scripture and reasoning is a great ornament to that, which means it has to be connected with the teachings of the Buddha. teachings lung here, scripture or the scriptural authoritative, which means the teachings of the Buddha itself. So here it means that whatever the teaching, it should be accord with the teachings of the Buddha. So therefore, lung here means the teachings of the Buddha himself. That has it has been mentioned in the King of the Samadhi Sutra, as well as in the Sutra of the Perfection of Wisdom, and there you can see many explanations on the topic of emptiness and so forth. So in order to become a perfect view, you have to teach, or the teaching should be according with what Buddha has taught. The next one is the reasoning, the logical reasoning, which also means the teaching should be accorded with logical reasonings. So one of the unique qualities or features of Buddhist tradition is that not only scripture or not only faith, but also reason. The reasoning is very important. That what Buddha taught, that he said that you have to examine, analyze my teachings. Whatever I taught, you have to examine it first, and then you can take it if it's useful to you. It's not because you respect me, it's not because that you have faith in me, so that you have to take or practice Dharma. It's not like that, but you have to first practice, first examine or analyze yourself, and then you can take practice the teachings. So here, the two things, using your scripture and the reasoning is the great ornament. So to give an example for the reason here, For example, there are many reasonings, logical reasonings in the treatises, but for example, one of the important reasoning is about the syllogism. The syllogism is about the emptiness, for example. So emptiness is the teaching that Buddha taught, so which becomes scripture or scriptural authority, the transmission of the teachings, right? The teachings taught by the Buddha, Lung. And then Rigpa, the logical reasoning here means in order to establish the emptiness, you need to apply reasoning. So therefore, reasoning here basically means the interdependent origination, the interdependent arising. So, for example, if you give this syllogism, for example, if you see all the phenomena in this world, samsara, and the beyond this world, the nirvana, they are empty, or they are emptiness. So, if then you have to give the reason. The reason should be the dependent arising, and because all the phenomena are dependent each other, dependent arising. So all the phenomena should arise in terms of many causes and conditions. So the collection of those causes and conditions then makes the reason for, in order to prove the emptiness. So that's one of the ripa or the syllogism for the logic of reasoning. So therefore, the first thing is the view that we need to establish the view first properly, or the perfect view. Once we understand, we establish that perfect view, then we can go to the next one, which is the meditation itself. Meditation here means to practice that view. And after that, the third one would be the conduct. The conduct here means you have to complete the conduct. You have to complete all the conducts, see, from through relying on the perfect view and the perfect meditation, and then the fruition or the completion of which is the conduct. So in order to understand the meditation, we need to first understand the view. So from understanding the view, which is the view of the true nature of our mind, and then it comes to the next one, we have to look or meditate. So then it will become the perfect meditation. So today we have completed the first view, which is the first ornament, which is the view. So next one we will finally recite to chant the aspirational prayer of Mahamudra. So the aspiration of the Mahamudra is part of the dedication for today, because we talk about the nature of mind. In order to understand the nature of mind, you should feel it, right? You have to experience. You have to understand understand the power of the nature of the mind. So those aspirations and prayers are important part of the practice.
그래, 따뜻한 그 주제 대리들의 산이 두수요나 나보고 참아 펼쳐. 알아서 하게 자자자들이 나한테는 주진고 쪽 자들이 참아 탈센터는 여고 얘기했어. 근데 양 탈지도 막 하고 이거는 탈피면서 당연히 그 소리 먹고 뛰는 거. 두수지 얘가 있나? 그래서 그 상황한테 구성적으로 비는 조성이 되어도 되게 주제를 자기들 새로 되는 아무튼 좀 말하다 그 소리 좀 왕 저희 속에 근데 상황이라고 잘하고
And with this we completed for today's session, and tomorrow we will be continuing our teachings on the ornaments. And if you have time, you can join, because it's important to complete all the teachings, all the empowerments, which would be good if you have time. You can come tomorrow. We will continue with this text, and also in the morning we will be finishing this whole text. And afternoon we will have the feast offering session, which is Gana Chakra of Milarepa, and we all have what we call the Wang Ti To, which means we receive empowerment and you receive the teachings, and finally you will also participating in the Gana Chakra, the feast offering, talk offering for tomorrow afternoon. Thank you. 328.